Hello. I'm here to talk about a book that is, well, it's a selection of short stories. It's called Howls from the Dark Ages, and it's this medieval dark horror fantasy. And it's a selection of 18 short stories. And it's first time, I'm not really into short stories. I don't tend to read a lot of short story books. But the publishers asked me whether I'd have a read because they read my review of Between Two Fires, and the foreword of this book is by Christopher Berlman. So I thought, yeah, right, I got it from Netgalley, and I thought, well, we'll have a read. And as with all short stories, some you will like, some you won't like, because it's just the nature of the beast. But they weren't all that bad, actually. I mean, there was the start was brilliant. The crowing, a short story about the crowing, about royalty being, sorry, frog in my throat this morning. Royalty being bled to provide youth. So that was the short story, and there's revenge comes into that one. And then you have stories about black magic and witchcraft and body horror as well. There's a super one called Palette about beauty and body horror and the preservation of beauty. That was, I did enjoy that one. You've got, because it's set in medieval times, you've got sort of the idea of religion. You've got heaven and hell, good and evil, and you sort of talks on all of those topics. And what other ones were there? You've got monks discovering demons, you've got ghosts, you've got demon children, you've got another one that I liked was the final book of Santa Foy's Miracles, which is about a mischievous saint. The saint is a child and causes all sorts of havoc. My favourite one was The Forgotten Valley, and that was about a legendary spear and talks about desire. That was my favourite one. Now the ending, the final book, short story of the book, was almost like a poetry, a story in verse, and it was the let me just pull it up because I can't quite remember what the title was. The Lay of the Dance Macabre. Now that was in poetry, and I really enjoyed that, and that was a nice ending to the book. So you had the crowing at the beginning, which was a super start, and then you had the Dance Macabre at the end, which finished everything off nicely. So yes, 18 very dark tales. So that's Howls of the Dark Ages. Have I got the title right? Howls from the Dark Ages. So it comes out in May. So if you're into that sort of dark horror fantasy, pick it up and have a read. So take care, happy reading, and bye.